Hello everyone, I'm Aneta Głowacka, Customer Success and Implementation Lead at Synergizing. Today, with Sebastian and Joanna, we will talk about CDP. But before that, please guys tell us a little bit about yourself to our listeners. Maybe start from Joanna.
Ladies first, as they say.
First,
exactly. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Aneta, for this nice and warm welcome. I come from digital and tech industry, working mainly with retailers around the globe on various digital projects, ranging from digital signage, content management, up to omnichannel link digital solutions. So I'm very happy to be with you guys today and discuss CDP, omnichannel link solutions, hopefully also a little bit of contact center. And I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for this really nice discussion that we're gonna have. Mike, over to you.
Happy to be here with you. My name is Sebastian. I'm Head of Customer Success and Implementation in Synergizing, and in our department we are responsible for all delivery processes, customer success operations and implementations, and of course the support of all the integrations and implementations that we are doing. So our experience and the field of work vary from retail projects to finance industry and many others, including also the telcos. And I'm happy to be here to discuss the omni-channel perspective of customers and their experience.
I knew that no one will introduce yourself as good as you did.
Thanks.
Before we go to this to our topic, I need to ask you, Sebastian, one question. This is serious event, and Joanna is good prepared. She's wearing a jacket, and you are wearing a hoodie. How come?
I knew that it came up these questions, but this is very elegant hoodie, and besides, I've seen an article recently that probably there is a science behind the fact that people are wearing hoodies, especially in tech industry. So maybe this is why I'm wearing the hoodie here, to look more like tech appropriate.
It does look top notch. Sebastian, you're all well dressed. We do also wear hoodies, just to say hi to Infobip. We still do have your hoodies in our locker. The thing is that when you're working in a tech industry and you're basically wearing a hoodie 24/7 around the clock, you're like, wow, there's gonna be some nice and serious webinar or podcast.
Yes.
It's nice to wear a suit from time to time. So that's the only business rationale I could come up with. Otherwise, I dress up like them. So Infobip and Synergizing keep it elegant, classy, and very, very tech savvy.
So CDP platforms would know that you also wear a hoodie.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this is very important to have a good CDP platform to have the personalized experience. So probably when you will enter some fashion store in the nearest future, they will know that they should give you a good hoodie.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about trends within your CDP, your platform. Where are you guys heading?
This is a really good question. Actually, when you were talking about the prescriptive output, it came to my mind that it's crucial to have something like the next best action for a customer from one hand. On the other hand,
the point, yeah.
It's good to have also the next best action for an agent, right? If we were talking about the contact center perspective. And this is actually a point when we need to think about the redefinition of the omnichannel experience, also from the perspective of end customer, but also from the perspective of company, of a brand, or from their delivery. And thanks to the data that we can gather, we can actually nail this particular challenge.
Totally agree, and we still, when we speak with contact center managers, across different industries, it's still, and you probably feel this personally as well, you're calling a contact center and you have made a purchase 10 minutes ago, but they don't know about that. You're calling about some, let's say, claim or whatever issue, and you are thinking okay, 10 minutes ago, I've made a purchase, in their e-commerce, still they are totally unaware of that. So And of course, the company is boosting about being a multi-channeling brand, having live chat, having WhatsApp, having Apple Business, etc. But there's big data disparity, meaning that the systems do not communicate with one another, and a person that is making purchase is totally anonymous for a contact center agent. And this is still an issue, like we're thinking, we are talking about predictive, prescriptive, etc. But we should really come back to basics, like how to make sure that instead of dispersed system where we have a different data set for contact center, different for marketing team, different for logistics team, different for after sales service, because the customer is just one, right? Across all of the departments.
Exactly, that's the point.
So this is what omnichanneling should do. It should be event triggered and not, department triggered. Like, okay, this is customer in marketing because this is a new lead.
So maybe we should redefine the CDP.
Yeah, from the perspective of channels, speaking about channels, if you have the WhatsApp, Apple Business Messages, the SMS or email campaigns or scenarios, and you don't treat the customer as one, and you are working in silos like, okay, so contact center is here, marketing department is here, the CRM department is here, they are responsible for acquisition, those are responsible for retention, and they are not speaking with each other within the organization, then it will be hard to build the omnichannel experience for outside the organization, and that's when the CDPs come in, right? So if you will give the organization a tool when they would have all the data from all the touch points in one place, then you can also change the experience within the organization. So right now the people from various departments are starting to talk to each other and thinking about this particular challenge, this particular customer, right? So having the data in one place is one thing, but being able to analyze this data, to trigger this data into execution is the second thing. And from the CDP perspective, like the standard definition brought by CDP Institute is telling you that if you want to be a CDP, or the CDP is a platform which allows you to gather the data from various touch points, create one behavioral profile, or unified profile, like 360-degree view, and then being able to transfer this data. And the question is why you have to transfer this data to other platforms. Of course, there are use cases when this is something good, but in general, you want to have one platform and to be able to run as much operations as possible within one tool. And this is
in this real time, which is crucial here.
Yeah,
that we know.
Exactly.
But from the company point of view, how to manage so many channels?
This is a very good question, and I liked the example that you put. And it triggered in my mind like two things. The first one, the connection between channels should happen somewhere, right? So you need that unified profile, the platform that will unify all those channels and will gather the data. And we said that, okay, you need a CDP, but for the purpose of this conversation and with customer, when the alpha generation comes in and they open their phone and type something in WhatsApp, it means that you have to be there. And I love this example. And being there is one thing. Being able to understand the conversation, gather the data from this conversation is the second thing. And then you need to put it somewhere. And the third thing is having the continuous experience across all the channels. Because let's say I started the conversation on WhatsApp with the home appliances store, whatever. And I was discussing the opportunity of buying a new TV, for example. This is fine. I started this discussion on WhatsApp and I dropped it.
Exactly.
So, okay, we can think of this scenario like an abandoned cart which triggered in WhatsApp. And when I will go through the mall and I will enter the offline store, I want to continue. I want to continue this experience, right? And this is the one thing when I want to continue this experience. So I will come in and I will introduce myself by my loyalty card, whatever, and they will I expect them to welcome me with okay, Sebastian, pleasure to have you here. Come on.
Exactly.
And
or why did you drop the discussion on WhatsApp?
Why did you drop this discussion?
Exactly.
We were trying to sell you this
Yes.
beautiful TV, and right now it's in discounted price, so here it is.
Yeah.
But this is tricky also when you can think about the other scenario. When you start the conversation on WhatsApp, you will buy this TV through WhatsApp, which is like a great experience, and you continue your journey toward the offline store because you want to buy some kind of accessories, right? And imagine the situation when these two systems are not communicating.
Yes.
And you enter then and gave you, Sebastian, welcome here. Oh, we know that you are interested in this beautiful TV. Here it is, especially for you with a discounted price. And I'm like, what? I already bought that. Oh, sorry. Then they need to rescue the situation. Like they will give you the soundbar with like reduced price or whatever, which may happen. But they were missing this connection, and you need a platform where you will gather all this data. You will analyze this in real time, in order to have like the push message delivered to the employee in store
by geolocalization.
By geolocalization,
example.
They know I have my phone. They have this app is in there. They know I am entering the store and I am a VIP customer, for example, right? So they should have this pop-up like, "Hey, VIP customer is entering our store. Just give him or her the experience that they need."
Yeah.
And what we said, it's not like give them the experience. It's like do this, and that for this particular customer as a next best action for an employee who is inside the store.
And Aneta also asked important question about like how to manage this, and also you pointed this out that this communication will take time to happen. Let's be honest, before someone knows that someone started a conversation over WhatsApp Messenger and you are going in store and they know about this, it's gonna be like 10 years ahead of us. But let's hope it's gonna be sooner. But there's some interesting fact from within our contact center that we gather, that if we have, let's say, data from your system or our CDP, whichever, and we have customers' behavioral patterns, demographic profile, whatever, we store something additional. We also store their channel preferences and their channel time usage, meaning that we know that, for example, Aneta likes to shop over WhatsApp in the evening, so we can adjust the communication marketing message over WhatsApp to her for this. It's called send time optimization for her time window, and we will not invest, for example, in Messenger in her case, because we know that she's spending her time there. So it's like you guys have this CDP, like parameters, models like propensity to buy, propensity to churn, etc. We kind of have the same, but concerning communication. And this should be also connected, because if we have knowledge from your platform, from you guys, for example, about propensity to buy, that I can tell my agent managers, it's going to be propensity to contact, because it's aligned, right? It's linear. If someone is
synergy in it.
Exactly, there's synergy in the Synergize and Infobip love. Exactly. So we really need this nice data that you guys have, because it also gives us better communication analysis. And so this was really nice point that you asked about Aneta. And also I liked how you mentioned, Sebastian, this like predictive in-store experience, that it should be interconnected with e-commerce experience. It's still kind of not. We call it phygital, right? But it's we all know that in-store communication, you have digital signage, but still we are quite anonymous within the store.
I would like to go back a second to this topic when we have this connection between the channels, and you said that but it will happen in 10 years.
Give me some hope, Sebastian. It's good. You have it already at Synergize.
These are the scenarios which we already provided to our customers, and this is particularly the telco example, when the customer started the conversation at POS, and like I was saying, the offline abandoned cart, right? They were starting to discuss with the agent some kind of offering, They of course didn't finish, and we had the workflow which allowed this data to transfer to from the POS to Synergize, and then we could continue this experience in mobile app or
This is
within
very nice.
the website. So imagine the synergy when you have the conversation on WhatsApp, and we have this kind of integration with Infobip. When this data is transferred to Synergize.
How do you track? I mean, I'm sure this is somehow some kind of know-how and data intelligence, but it's interesting for me how you track those people because
How do we know that this is the same
yeah,
person?
exactly. Yeah.
They have to live in a offline store. Information about
parameter.
their email.
Email or phone number. Okay.
Loyalty card,
Okay,
or
so
whatever
you
kind
need
of
to have
element.
at least one
Yeah.
piece of data to do that. I was
Yeah,
thinking
because
that you are already doing it without those.
No.
I was like, did I miss something on the tech market?
But probably you could do such things, but
As well.
we are speaking about the consent marketing, right?
Yeah.
So the customer needs to be aware of what data is he or she leaving and what will happen with this data in the future. So if I don't want to be tracked in some way, or I don't want to have the personalized offering, I can opt out from that kind of marketing, right? But if I want to be treated with the personalization, then I can give all the consents, and you can connect these channels, like having the integration with Apple Business Messages or Google or whatever. We can get this data from one point and reach the profile within our platform and give the output on different channel, like on dynamic content on the website or via the SMS, or having the agent contact directly this particular customer. And having this data and the profile of this person and the context of his or her behavior, we can also implement AI on top of that, right? So we can either personalize the products, offerings, the next best actions, or personalize time, personalize the channel, or even have, as you mentioned, the propensity to something, to buy any type of product, propensity to churn, or to be
Upsell,
present,
cross-sell.
for example, in a particular location.
Okay, guys, but we hear more and more about cookieless world. What do you think about it, Sebastian?
This is tricky stuff, actually, and from my perspective, it's more like an opportunity for customers and, of course, for platforms like Synergize or Infobip, when you can actually manage properly the data from the customers and what they are leaving as a trace on your website or in different channels also. And this is crucial to remember that from this cookieless perspective, we actually experience it already on Safari browsers, for example, on Firefox, depending on the settings of your device, even when you have an iPhone, for example. So this is not like we are going to enter something which is like a desert. And this is one thing. And the second thing, we need to remember that this cookieless policy is about the third-party cookies, which means that customers will benefit still from the first-party platforms like Synergize or Infobip, which can be implemented on the website as a first-party cookie integration. And the real struggle will be for the ad tech market, actually, and there is a way to overcome these challenges also.
Any idea how to do it?
Plenty.
It's already done at
Plenty of
Synergize,
them. It's already done. It's already done. Yeah.
The next best action is already written there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is crucial to have a platform that will allow you to have server-side integrations. And as I said, the struggle is on the ad tech market, basically, when you need to have the identity resolution platforms. You need to know that this particular person in the website somewhere in the internet is Aneta Głowacka.
And
right?
customer must see the benefit of him and the identifying. That's the real challenge.
That's the challenge. That's the challenge also, and there are actions on the ad tech market between the organizations where they actually are working currently on developing that kind of tools which will allow the identity management. It may be on email addresses, phone numbers, whatever, or particular IDs that will be stored in browsers in some way. But on the other hand, from the platform perspective, from the customer perspective, the first thing, you will need to have the consent from this person to be, so this person will be tracked inside the internet, and then you need to integrate with this identity resolution platform. So it's from the Synergize customer, from Infobip customer, this is something which they don't need to be worried about, but it's more like the work that needs to be done on the server side between the platforms and the ad tech market and the identity resolutions. And these are the connections which you can do via the API, via the automations in Synergize, for example, by having this native integration, like we have, for example, with Facebook, right? The Facebook will struggle potentially after these changes, but Facebook allows you to have this server-side integration. They have the information about the customer, their email addresses, their phone numbers. If you, as a customer, as a brand, have this data in your CDP, which is considered first-party data or zero-party data, basically, and you have the consent from this particular person, so you can personalize the experience around the internet, then you can server-side integrate with Facebook and push the events of this customer, push the information to which segment this particular customer belongs to, and then you can do your job on the Facebook by running the ads. And the same story goes with Google, with Adform, with other platforms in spite of the market.
Makes sense. The issue here is also, speaking about GDPR as well, that a lot of channels have different opt-in policies, and this is where a big book is being opened. You've got WhatsApp, you've got Viber that has this kind of soft opt-in, that when a first marketing message is being sent over Viber, customer has a chance to either opt-in or opt-out already from the communication. But most of the channels in the perfect scenario should be customer initiated, because then we already kind of have this consent. Customer engages in a communication with us as a brand.
And is more aware what he can get.
Exactly. But those channels and those companies, and also, Facebook, that is owner of WhatsApp, realize that, hey, so if customers willingly enter conversation through those channels with us, then let's use them also in a marketing way. And this is where this more complicated book is being written. Because if you want to shift it from business-initiated conversation towards the customer, then you need to have the GDPR, issues resolved, you need to have consents, etc. You need to have the opt-ins. Of course, it's kind of easy to collect them, because imagine you are on an e-commerce website, whatever, you are purchasing something, you are already in your shopping cart, so it's basically the end of customer journey. And you have your contact, you're leaving your contact data, and a lot of companies are already being aware of the changes coming, putting their WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever other channel, and then they know that next week they can send a nice campaign over Viber or over WhatsApp to this person. But what you mentioned, Sebastian, is that it's difficult for the companies to store this information. It's like, having a big file. I imagine currently companies do it really in Excel, because there is no other option, and it's like Messenger consents, WhatsApp consents, Google Business, etc., etc. So it's here I see a business challenge, but also business opportunity for many companies. It's a platform for consent management, kind of issues, where a brand would see very transparently which channels they can approach. Towards which customers.
But separate platform, or
Same
can
one,
have it in
same one. This is why we are here today, you know.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna leave.
Forget the Excel and the customer
Yeah,
management
this
Excel.
was
No,
just-
it won't work.
Sebastian, maybe,
Exactly.
maybe tell a little bit how Synergize is handled such...
It needs to be real time, right? Because you know, I can subscribe from WhatsApp messages right now, and the company will not update this in the Excel file. So again, we need to activate customers' idea about those channels. That this is not just passive, reactive channels, but if you want to use them practically in a marketing way, then you need a cool CDP like
Exactly.
yours.
Exactly. That's the first thing. You need to manage this in real time, even if either if the customer is opting in or opting out. As opting out is like more important in this case. So having this in real time, but as we said, having this server-side integration between channels, between platforms is crucial,
and channel
because
providers, right? Because
Yeah.
they also have their own policies of opt-in and opt-out. So yeah.
So this data needs to be transferred directly in the fastest way to the CDP, so you could update the profile. And imagine when you are an enterprise company, enterprise brand, and you, beside the CDP and the contact center, you have also you're building your own data lake, for example, and because you want to have this data in CDP for business and for marketers, and here in your data lake, in data warehouse, you want to have these business intelligence units, which will be using this data for like other kind of reporting, which is not like something which you need to have on top of your fingers as a marketer, as a business person, but you are doing another kind of reporting in the data lake, for example. And from the WhatsApp, you need to transfer it to CDP, and then in real time put it to the other platform like the data warehouse, right? So you need to have this on real time, and that's why we came up with our Terrarium database, which is our proprietary database, because we had to build it from scratch, because there was nothing on the market which could serve the events in this way, so you could reanalyze it in real time, for example, build a segmentation, check if customer is in the segment or not, if he has the consent or not, if he's ready for the communication or not, and then be able to execute this data for further platforms. So that's why you need to have this in real time, you need to have this integrated on the server side, because we see these challenges rising from the cookieless approach. And you need to be able to build on it.
Yeah, and I think good point of like companies working together, like even taking an example of Infobip and Synergize, because Infobip has grew from CPaaS, which is channels basically, so SMS, so very, traditional way of communicating, but we have developed, relationships like directly with telco operators, with Meta as a WhatsApp provider, with Viber, etc. So we have the source data, like we know exactly what's going on. So I believe that like when you combine what you were talking about with our direct to partners, information, policy, GDPR, etc., you can really create one big, super powerful platform. This is what's needed really on the market. We still see a lot of dispersed data, a lot of dispersed ecosystems. Even if the company is using just email and SMS, sometimes email does not know what the SMS has just communicated in a campaign. So even
there are that kind of
even with two basic traditional channels, it's kind of difficult for companies to combine them. And also having like Infobip, which is direct telco operator, gives opportunities of, for example, having two-way communication via SMS. Because normally when you're sending SMS campaign, you're doing it like one way, and the customer does not have opportunity to interact with it. Whereas if you're working with companies like Infobip, you can add two-way possibility to your communication, and then the customer receiving SMS can directly ask about this promotion or offer. So we are, due to the fact that we are so close to telco world, to operators around the globe, we are really like, we have really polished to perfection those basic channels as well.
And if you have well-educated customers who know how to use your platform, what is I'm asking both of you, what is your favorite use case that your customer has made on your platform?
This is a great question, and it's really, really hard because I can think of both. You know, like the one from the perspective of simplicity and the time to market, which is really, really short, and yet the effects are powerful. These are the personalized recommendations, personalized product recommendations in Synergize, because it's really easy to set up, easy to implement, and you can implement it on basically every channel. And this is something which really gives the value for a brand which will be using it. And as I said, it's simple yet powerful. On the other hand, I can imagine the scenarios which engage multiple channels, multiple departments, and personally, these are my favorites. When you can engage multiple channels by creating the omnichannel and give the customer journey from one to another through keeping the context and the experience through all of them, right? So the one that I gave today was the one of our telcos, which had this offline abandoned cart, right? You have started the conversation in the POS, and you go through the website and mobile app, and you finish really the scenario. But also, I like this the one when you have the predictions, and you are, for example, I'm thinking this is also your favorite. And when you have when you have the predictions and you create the scoring for the propensity to interact with a particular channel, which is an SMS. Right?
Nice, very
and
nice.
You
That's
go,
also something for us.
And this is something which you can treat in two ways, basically. The first one. Do I need to send an SMS for this particular person, because it will convert in a transaction via this channel, so I should or I should not, and it gives you the information about whether you should invest in this particular channel. So you have like two crucial outputs. The first one is having the persons which will convert, and so you know that you can push the personalized campaign for these people,
or skip it because you don't need this SMS cost,
and skip it and then take this money and invest into
spend it somewhere else.
So
definitely.
it's like two
we can tell that your platform simply, in combination with other platforms such as Infobip, simply makes companies make smarter business choices, you know?
Yep.
Because in the end we all want to make more money and save at the same time.
Exactly.
And both platforms kind of help with this, both contact center platform with many channels and your platform as well. And from our cases it's really many, but I like Bolt, you know, you're probably using the brand as well sometimes. They have had a challenge with churn of drivers trying to onboard as drivers, potential drivers as drivers. And you know, sometimes they would start the onboarding, put their data, and the process was somehow stopped. So we tried with WhatsApp, with a nice chatbot that helped them, you know, finish the process. We achieved really great KPIs in this, more drivers onboarded quicker, in a quicker way, in a more efficient way. It also brought savings because the contact center was less busy. So very, very nice, let's say, business case as in your situation, saving money and bringing more revenue and, you know, speeding up operations. So a lot of nice KPIs that were kind of impacted by this. Also the Dior case that I mentioned was a nice campaign by an influencer called Jisoo. Don't ask me, I don't have Instagram, but probably some of the Alpha generation, you know, representatives do know who the influencer is, and she was...
We should check that.
Exactly, and she was... the idea was to sell exclusive line of cosmetics over a channel, they chose WhatsApp, and to give customers some kind of personalized contact with this influencer. So imagine that we can use even WhatsApp for, you know, influencer marketing, which is not so, it's actually unprecedented. Not many do use it, except for Adidas, Nike, and really brands that love communities, diasporas, etc. Again, the results quite nice, without, you know, giving like business secrets. a lot of people wanted to engage. A lot of people needed this personal touch. A lot of people bought, yes, the brand afterwards, or this specific cosmetic that was promoted. So we see a big opportunity and a big a chance for treating channels and conversation as the best selling option, because in the end we're just humans, you know, discussing and talking like we're doing today is the essence of our life, you know. It's like spreading information in the past, you know, from cave to cave. That's basically what we're doing. It's very natural for us, and we believe when sales is natural, when sales happens naturally, customers love it. They don't feel this, you know, remarketing, retargeting everywhere, etc. They want to engage, they want to discuss the product, they want to ask about the product's ingredients, whatever. They just open their channel, preferred channel, and they do it. And we believe the more natural it happens, less pushy, the more successful a campaign is. At least this is what marketers want to think, but we'll see what the Alpha generation is in fact. So we are still curious about how they want to shop in the future. If you guys already have some insights, please do share with us. We are also kind of tracking, you know, this community and observing them when discussing strategies with brands, but this is going to be a challenge because they will not be willing to share so much data, I'm afraid. So we have to do it in a smart way.
Perfect, guys. Thank you for your definitions. We will finish for today. I'm really glad that I could share this moment with you.
Perfect.
So we will all grow.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aneta. Thanks, Synergize and Infobip.